Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign and today we are back in Myth of Empires for a little bit of a bitch and a moan. There's been a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Now in the background I'm just going to be playing on this private solo 15-time server at the moment because I'm not going to be playing on the official servers anymore until some shit gets sorted. Now when we were on the PvP servers we had the issue where like there was mega guilds, certain mega guilds going in and capping the whole server so no one could defend, and they complained that they weren't able to actually fight anyone and blah blah blah, and it was just a whole load of bullshit. So we decided we'd go over to PvE. Now we didn't get fully raided. We did get raided like there was a raiding attempts every day for a few days, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the day after New Year's Day. And instead of just getting all of our shit wiped with nothing we can do about it because there's 70-80 people jumping on and they all have 17 NPCs and stuff, and it's just difficult for you to actually be able to deal with. Now I know there's like, there's a million ways around this stuff. I know that if I don't want PvP, don't play on a PvP server, but there's certain limits to that rhetoric. There's certain limits to that, to the point where people are actually abusing certain mechanics to be able to get through your base, without actually playing the game properly, like effectively somewhat exploiting. There's the different exploits where you can use fire damage to damage structures that are under protection. So like it doesn't matter if you have your 8-hour protection for that day, if they want to throw fireballs and they have countless amounts of fireballs to throw at your base, then it will still do damage. It will tick the DPS, it will like tick the fire damage over time, so then they can still get into your base even under protection. Then there's capping out a server. Now that's standard procedure. I mean, that's happened in every survival game I've ever played. It's happened in Ark, it's happened in all those kind of servers that have that allow you to be able to transfer from server to server. So like they can just cap out your server and you can't mount any defense because none of your players can actually get in the actual server itself. Now that's not really like, I can't really blame the guilds and the players for that. That's down to the game and the fact that you can only have 100 players in the server, and with a 100 player guild limit and then no limit on alliances, that makes it a lot more difficult for like if you have 100 players in a guild or you have 1,000 people in an alliance and they all want to get in on the actual fight, then it's not really them to blame. It is, because it is and it isn't. Now on one side of the coin, I can see the argument that players are somewhat responsible in the long run for the health of a game, and a lot of those PvP players will say that they have nothing to do with the health of the game. That's all down to the devs, and that's not strictly true. I mean, that is kind of true to some aspects, but in other aspects it's just a bullshit reason for you to just ruin someone's day using whatever and any means necessary to be able to do that. So I understand there's going to be difference of opinions, and some people think it's not going to be bad, other people are going to think it's bad. What does really piss me off is the fact that on a PvE server, now we set up on the PvE server just to like get our stuff together, collect our thoughts, find out what we're going to be doing in the game, decide if we're going to be carrying on going on to PvP, just to get a little bit of respite, sit there, relax, enjoy the game for a little while, and then go back onto PvP. But then, like, not even 24 hours after we joined the PvE server, we set up our guild base and we set up all the structures and stuff to collect it. And then I went to go set up my NPC base because I wanted to start making content, a lot of content on guides for NPCs, how to find the best NPCs, what NPCs traits and stuff you need to look out for, etc. And I was working on that on PvE server, so it's easier for me to get that content out there. Now, as soon as I set down the base, now I didn't set down the guild boundary marker yet. I was just setting up the layout of the base, getting the stuff over there, getting it collected. I just had a personal banner up there, and while I just set it all up, just finished, got all the torture racks down, I was just about to go out, get the boundary marker, place the boundary marker down. I come back to the base and there was a guy standing in the doorway in front of the personal boundary getting hit by NPCs. So the NPCs were hitting him and then hitting the personal boundary and hitting the bloody door. So when they were hitting the door, these NPCs that were attacking him that he pulled from a town was actually doing damage to my structure, and he managed to break into the structure. Now there was literally nothing that I could do about that. I went and killed the NPCs so they couldn't damage the structure anymore, but they attacked and damaged the personal banner. Now I'm not going to say what this guild was, what region they were from, anything like that. I don't believe, I mean, players are arseholes in general. Like, there's no reason for me to turn around and say this certain nationality is a bunch of arseholes or this certain nationality. There's no point. All gamers are arseholes. Like, there's a whole group of gamers. There's arseholes in every nation on the planet. So I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's just because of the Chinese guys, or it's just because of the Zergs, it's just because this wasn't a Zerg. It was like 5 people. But after I kept killing the NPCs so they weren't able to try and do what they were doing, what they went and did was grab a bloody boundary marker, their own one, place it down just outside of where the structure is. So I think it's 40 meters. I think, if I remember correctly, it's 40 meters from the closest structure that you can build a boundary marker to if there's no other boundary marker in the vicinity. So what they did was they placed this boundary marker down, and they placed that down and they upgraded it so that the decay overlap my entire base. Now what that did was set my decay to an absolutely massive amount. Now that massive amount actually started breaking down doors, walls, boxes, crafting stations, the actual benches, the NPC racks, the torture racks and everything, and they just broke everything down, and then they were able to pick up all the bags and stuff, and there was literally nothing that I could do about it. Now you can easily turn around and say, well, you should have put the boundary marker down first. I wasn't aware that I had to defend myself against PvE players raiding my base in any way, shape or form, because I hadn't played on the PvE servers that much. And the previous ways of doing it, using the NPCs or the guild boundary marker, I thought was pretty much fixed. But it turns out that you needed the guild boundary marker put down to actually place it down and defend whatever's in the white circle. Now after this happened, I obviously rage quit like a proper little neckbeard. I was just like, no, I'm done, fuck this game, and I rage quit in the Discord with all my guildies sitting in there. Obviously that's not a good thing to say or do, but it happens sometimes. You get angry when you set something up, and something that happens that shouldn't happen in a game happens. So I lost my temper. Now I'm not done with the game. I'm going to be playing on private servers only. I'm going to be jumping from private server to private server. I'll maybe do some series on there, start from building from the beginning. I'll definitely be streaming the progress on the private servers. Still going to be playing on PvP. It's going to be higher rates, so I don't have to waste my life to get absolutely lambasted by some group of guys that want to exploit whatever they want to exploit. So I'm just going to have fun with the game. I'm going to enjoy not playing on the official servers anymore, because that really did grind the absolute shite out of my gears. Now the reason why I'm mainly doing this video is to pre-warn people. If they see people placing a guild boundary marker outside of their base and they see it starting to upgrade, get your stuff into a wagon, get your stuff into a cart, until the devs are able to make a decision on what they want to do with this, if they want to get rid of it, if they want to fix it, if they want to sort of change the mechanics of the game on the PvE servers. But for currently right now, nowhere is safe in the game. Nowhere is safe in the game. It is against the rules to place the boundary marker on the PvE server when there's people playing. That is against the rules. But so far, I've seen this, since this happened to me, I've seen it happen to one other person. And so far, the reports that have been put in, nothing has happened to these people. These guys are still on the server. They're still playing the game, and they're still enjoying the fact that they can just ruin someone else's life. And all the time, the hours that have been put in to build stuff, etc., all the grinding. And again, I know this is a PvP game. I know this is if you don't want to play games like this, you don't want to get raided, you don't want to lose everything, then don't play these type of games. But I am playing these type of games for that very reason. I like to be raided. I like to raid. I like the fighting that's in between. What I don't like is exploitation of mechanics, and for people to make it super bloody easy for them to actually just go in and destroy someone's base and destroy all the time that they've put into it, using a method that is against the rules with nothing actually happening to them. So we're going to be moving on. I'm going to be playing on private servers. I'm still going to be making the guides for you guys. I'll still be making the content. We're still doing all that stuff. I'm still enjoying the game. Just because I raged at that one moment and whatever happened, I'm still going to be playing the game. I'm still enjoying the game. We're still going to be streaming the game. We're still going to be making guides for the game. So don't worry about that. Everything's still going to be coming out. It's just going to be coming out from a non-official server front. Maybe I'll be doing it on my own personal dedicated server so we can get everything set up, or I'll do the guides on the PvP servers that I'll be playing on the unofficial. So even though I'm angry, I don't want people to believe that I'm trying to shit on the game or I'm trying to make the game look bad or anything like that. This is just a PSA to be able to protect your stuff, to see what's going to be happening. I wouldn't normally post a video on an exploit that's being used, but everyone needs to know what's actually going on. This isn't something that, because if you get these guys, they come up to your base and you've been playing this since launch and you've got your big old PvE base going, and then they come and do this naughty stuff, then it's going to cause more people to leave the game. So hopefully some developer maybe will see the video, chuck up a like on the video to make sure that it gets to as many people as possible, and it forces their hand to actually change the way PvE servers are currently running and currently run. there's certain mechanics that they don't need on PvE servers. The magistrate stuff, I don't believe they need that on PvE servers, especially when there's no way. Like, it's just PvP guilds that are owning the PvE servers, and they're running that magistrate, and they're just minting coins constantly every day from loads of different servers, making millions and millions of coins. If you want magistrate, keep the magistrate on the PvP servers. If you want PvE servers, then change the magistrate fight into a battleground, so PvE players can actually enjoy a little bit of instance PvP as well without getting ram raided by an absolute giant monster of people. It would just make the game a little bit more bearable for people who just want a part-time PvP and they want to just enjoy the game rather than getting absolutely arse blasted. I know I'm going to get some comments down below saying all kinds of stuff about how, oh, it's PvP, blah, 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 you shouldn't play the game, blah, 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 as I've said multiple times already. But it just annoyed the shit out of me. What can I say? I'm only human, and there's not much else I can say or do about it. Now, if you do enjoy my Myth of Empires content, make sure to throw up a like. If you'd like to see some more Myth of Empires content and other survival gaming content, then throw up a subscribe. If you'd like to join the Discord and join our growing survival gaming community, the link was also in the description. If you'd like to support myself on the channel, there is a link for Patreon in the description also. I want to thank you all for watching. This has been my bitching rant. Lie safe and avoid local chat scams.